gonna burn this place to the ground.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my Falcon and Winter Soldier Super Bowl trailer breakdown. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs for the Captain America comics, for all the Captain America movies, a lot of callbacks to Avengers Endgame, and Marvel Phase 4 stuff that they're setting up. So if you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. We're doing that Infinity Saga box set giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave all your theories about what this sets up. Just like during my Wandavision trailer video, because they break a lot of this footage up in a really non-linear way, I'll try to break it down chronologically the way I think it happens through the episodes. Couple big things to point out. The main villain of this series is going to be Baron Zemo. Obviously, he's going full comic book Baron Zemo because he's got the purple mask in the preview that they showed off at D23. Just like WandaVision, this series takes place after the Avengers Endgame ending, where Old Man Captain America returned to our timeline after living out his life with Peggy Carter, after, I might add, he returned all the Infinity Stones to the places and times they stole them from, and took Thor's hammer back to Asgard. He pulls a fast one on him, shows up on that bench, and then gives his shield and basically passes the mantle to Falcon, says, "Try it on." It's meant to be sort of a metaphor, like try on the mantle of Captain America at some point. For those of you asking if Old Man Captain America is going to have a cameo scene during the Falcon and Winter Soldier episodes, this is what Chris Evans said about it when he was asked, because obviously people are like, are you going to show up during this at some point? Because even though you're an old man, you're still alive, you're still around in this version of Earth. He said it would be kind of weird to rush Old Man Cap out of retirement, and that he, Chris Evans, in real life had also kind of just retired, at least temporarily, from the Marvel movies. He didn't say he would never come back, but he said that they ended on such a great moment that why would they want to take that back? So I don't think he's lying or anything. I don't think he filmed any new scenes for Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I think that they'll spend a lot of time referencing Captain America and Old Man Cap during the series, so it will invoke him in a really big way. My assumption, just based on what the Russos and Chris Evans said, is that after this scene here, Old Man Cap quietly retired to a house somewhere and is being kept under watchful eye by both his surviving Avengers friends, who are trying to take care of him, and Thunderbolt Ross in the military, who want to keep tabs on him. Thunderbolt Ross is very important to the Falcon and Winter Soldier series, even though he doesn't show up anywhere in this trailer. The trailer itself opens with the bumping sound like a heartbeat, and the shot opens up on Captain America's shield, which is embedded in a tree as Falcon practices throwing it on what looks like some remote house. Maybe it belongs to Falcon's family or something like that. They're just hiding out somewhere trying to figure out what they're going to do next. The way the shot opens up too, top to bottom, is kind of like someone opening their eyes. But then they play the regular Marvel Studios logo, which switches to a blue logo, obviously blue the color of the Disney Plus interface, just letting everyone know who doesn't follow Marvel news that this is it's the same people that make the movies that are making these Disney Plus series, it's the same movie actors, so it's meant to be the same continuous story, just in a slightly different format. It's meant to be a little bit special. Then there's a scene of Falcon in his new red wing suit in the canyons trying to take down this group of wingsuit gliders in yellow and black who turn around mid-flight to try and shoot him down. The big Easter egg here that you may have recognized is that these villains are wearing classic comic book Hydra colors. That doesn't confirm that they're still leftover Hydra operatives running around everywhere that they have to take down. Baron Zemo is meant to be the main villain, but he'll probably be trying to exploit every weakness he can, every opportunity, and since they're pulling out a lot of comic book deep cuts from the Captain America comics, Baron Zemo has been involved in most of the major evil organizations from Marvel Comics history, including Hydra. Then there's the scene of Winter Soldier acting like he really wants to kill Zemo, who's wearing his classic comic book outfit, including the purple mask that we saw during D23, but he stops himself for some reason as you see the bullets of his gun falling through the fingers of his vibranium hand. Thank you very much, Black Panther and Shuri, for that vibranium arm. This is a big callback to the events of Captain America Civil War. Zemo exploited, then framed Winter Soldier for a bunch of killings, then exposed his past assassination of Iron Man's parents during the early 90s, then went on to try and turn the remnants of the Hydra super soldiers against the Avengers in a bid to tear them apart, successfully. Remember, his whole goal during that movie was to tear the Avengers apart, so technically he beat them. That was what that whole ending with Everett Ross was about, where Everett Ross is trying to lord it over him, like, we beat you, we stopped you before you were able to accomplish your goal. And he's like, did you really though? I kind of did exactly what I set out to do. The Avengers just tore themselves apart, even though they eventually did get back together during Avengers Endgame. And part of the whole idea of Winter Soldier after the events of Avengers Endgame, after being brought back after getting snapped, is that he wants to clear the red from his ledger, Black Widow style, just like she did. And killing Zemo wouldn't solve that. Zemo probably knows that and tries to use it against him. Then there's this big new scene of the government's new fake version of Captain America, John Walker, aka US Agent. Think of him as the darker version of Captain America, who Thunderbolt Ross and the US military select as their replacement for Old Man Cap. You have to keep in mind that Captain America hung up the shield, so to speak, he retired, but the government loves the concept of Captain America so much as a figure to rally the troops around, rally support from the American people, so they want another Captain America that they can use that for, but they want their own man who's on their payroll who will do what they say. You could just see Old Man Cap shouting at the TV watching this broadcast, "How dare you stand where I stood?" Look at the A symbols on this marching band here at this big football game. It's almost like Thunderbolt Ross is trying to hijack the legacy of Captain America and the Avengers for their own purposes. Like, look, this is our version, the government's version of the Avengers and Captain America. Everyone embrace them. Just all kinds of wrong on all kinds of levels. I've already done a video for that first look teaser for US Agent's new Captain America suit and his backstory a while ago, but just like in the comics, he's the more hardcore version of Captain America. Like you see him standing here in his dress uniform, it looks like maybe he was injured in a recent war or conflict, and then they give him some derivative of the super soldier serum that turns him into their version of Captain America. Remember, way back during The Incredible Hulk, Thunderbolt Ross had a special quote-unquote program that he was experimenting with the super soldier serum. He gave that to the Abomination, which set him on the path to eventually becoming the comic book Abomination. So he probably just revives that program to create the new version of Captain America. Then there's a scene of Falcon and Winter Soldier in a hallway that either looks like a military base or a prison maybe. Maybe it has something to do with Baron Zemo. Winter Soldier looks way more pissed off than Falcon for whatever reason. There's also a bunch of images from the set. This is what Winter Soldier's two new other comic book costumes are going to look like. He has multiple costumes during the series. You also get a much better look at his vibranium arm. These are both meant to be versions of suits that he wore in the comics. The cool thing, though, that we haven't talked about is the other secret abilities that his vibranium arm has.
Hey, how much for the arm? Oh, I'll get that arm.
Kevin Feige teased way back at D23 that Winter Soldier's vibranium arm has a lot of special weaponry built into it, just like all vibranium gear that Shuri designs. They just never had the time to show it off during Avengers Endgame. My early guess is that it just has a lot of the similar abilities that Black Panther's costume has, like he can absorb energy through it and then redirect it. They'll probably release the next big Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer in May when Black Widow comes out, and maybe they'll have some finished special effects to show off. The whole idea of the series is that Zemo escapes prison and sets off this worldwide terror plan that Falcon and Winter Soldier have to team up to stop, while also fending off the US government and Thunderbolt Ross, who don't want Falcon to have Cap's shield. Anthony Mackie did say back at D23 he would not be taking Captain America's name though. He would always still be called Falcon, regardless of what his costume looks like and whether or not he holds the shield. All the Thunderbolts stuff is sort of a darker, twisted version of the Avengers setup. Remember the way they seeded all the Avengers build-up in the first Marvel Phase 1 movies? They're using Thunderbolt Ross to do a version of that with all the Marvel Phase 4 stuff, so that'll start with the Black Widow movie. I think we all have some expectations about post-credit scenes, but we can talk about that more when we get more Black Widow footage.
Who the hell are you?
Nick Fury, Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm here to talk to you about the Avenger Initiative.
Well, what are we avenging?
Whatever the hell we want.
She's not anywhere in the footage, but Sharon Carter is also one of the main characters in the series, probably still working with Thunderbolt Ross in the World Security Council, and there's probably a whole bunch of other deep-cut characters from the Captain America comics that we won't find out about till they actually drop the episodes. They did start implying that some of these Disney Plus Marvel series will get future seasons. Wandavision will probably only be one season, but they're already talking about doing Loki Season 2, and they might do the same thing with Falcon and Winter Soldier. Right now, the release date is going to be sometime at the end of August after Comic-Con. There'll be 6 episodes total. I will do a video for the Loki trailer. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs and stuff that they set up in a really cosmic multiverse way in that. So all the Disney Plus series will be very, very different. So the stuff that's happening on WandaVision will be very different from what they're doing on Falcon and Winter Soldier, will be very different from what they're doing on Loki. Everyone, post all your theories about Falcon and Winter Soldier in the comments below. Let me know how you think this sets up Thunderbolts, because that's obviously a big part of the series. We probably won't see a whole lot of that happening during the trailers, though. Everyone, click here for my brand new WandaVision Super Bowl trailer, and click here for that new Black Widow Super Bowl trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. This is the way.